Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Focus with Tim Thomas. I am your host, Tim Thomas, and we're glad you've joined us for this very special edition of our program. We hope that you will call someone and let them know Focus is on the air. We're happy to be coming to you from downtown Madisonville at the Madisonville City Hall, and we are in the Mayor's Conference Room. Here is where we have been coming and doing some very special programs, and this is no difference today. Here inside this conference room are the pictures of former mayors up to the current mayor that adorns this room, and it's a very, very, very nice room, and our thanks to Mayor Jackson and his staff for allowing us to come in and tape this program. And while we're doing that, we want to thank the City of Madisonville as well as First United Bank for sponsoring Focus here on the air. Glad to have with us a very special guest, none other than Miss Ruth Ann Paget. She is the Vice President of Operations with the Madisonville Hopkins County Economic Development Corporation. And she has some exciting things going on here in the community of Hopkins County and Western Kentucky. Ruth Ann, glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
It's really good to be able to have you come on and talk about what's taking place at the not only economic development, but at Kentucky Innovation Station that is opened up here.
Well, we are really excited to be in Kentucky Innovation Station. We opened up in November of 2017, and it has been a long process.
Yes.
It has been a process that probably spanned 3 years, from idea to filling out a grant, to receiving the grant, to construction, and then actually locating in the facility. Economic development did move to the facility, so all 3 of our offices are located in there. But basically, the Kentucky Innovation Station was an idea that we came up with to help small business and entrepreneurs. Sometimes if you are a small business, you cannot just go out and rent an office for $550 a month and then pay utilities, then pay internet, then you have your copier and your phone lines and all the different things. So what we wanted to do is try to make it easier for small businesses to start up. And economic development, this has kind of been on our radar. We've gone to visit several and gone to other communities. And then the mayor, Mayor David Jackson and Mark Lee went to one called Launchpad down in New Orleans. And once they went, they grabbed onto that vision and said, hey, this is something, we'd like to have in Madisonville. So then a little bit more time went by, and it became determined that, hey, the train depot that had previously been empty would be a great space for that.
Right, and let's give somebody listening on it that may not know exactly where the old train depot is. Where is it located?
The old train depot is actually, the address is 38 West Arch, and it is right behind City Hall. So right behind the train tracks. The building was built in 1929, and it's got a really, really neat history.
A rich history.
Yeah, so the fact that it is now being used again, actually, we kind of like to say the Innovation Station is powered by the City of Madisonville. It is their building. They're allowing us to be here, but not just allowing us to be here. It was a project that they were very excited about and funded. I'd say probably 85% of it. There was a small grant where there was a grant for $150,000 from the Delta Regional Authority. But then we got the construction bids. Those bids came well over what was needed to finish out that space. Wow. And the city stepped up to the plate and completely finished out that structure and that construction, and it is a beautiful facility. I would encourage anyone to stop by. We'd love to have visitors, but most of all, if you've got a small business, if you're an entrepreneur and you've got an idea, that's where you want to come and talk to us about it, see what we can do to help you, and locate office space or co-working space there as well.
I have to totally agree with you. If you have not had an opportunity to go by to see the changes that have been made, it has turned into a beautiful facility.
It has. We are really excited about it.
Right. And not only is it a beautiful facility, but great things are happening out of that facility now.
There are. Currently we have 5 businesses that have located in there. And it's interesting, the facility is open 24/7, So they have key codes where they can just go in and out, and they have access to copier, to internet, just about any type of office supply or things that they need are all right there. But we have somebody that does websites. We have somebody that does QuickBooks for small businesses.
Wow.
We've got Posh Event Planning is currently located in there. We also have a writer. And the other day I was in the middle of trying to write something, Tim, and I just couldn't get it together. So I walked out and said, hey, here's what I want to say. Help me put this together. And in about 15 minutes, we had exactly what I need to say. So it's that collaboration and learning from each other, and you know, his skill sets helped fill a void where mine were lacking in that particular moment.
Yes.
But you know, everybody is kind of working together, and it's really exciting to see these businesses grow and thrive. And what we hope eventually is that these businesses will grow and thrive and be able to afford to move out into another location downtown and make room for other businesses that want to locate there.
What kind of other resources are available to entrepreneurs?
Well, we are picking up a learning series flyer here. We have classes right now planned all the way from February to July, and we're getting ready to work on our August to December. But next week we've got financial checkup for your business. So people can come in and bring their profit and loss, they can bring in their balance sheets, and there will be trained people to help look at that and say, hey, where are you, and how does your bottom line really look, and see what kind of help they need. There's also at the end of February funding options for small businesses that we were talking about, grants, all different kinds of things that can help fund your business. In March we've got disaster preparedness for small business. That's something we don't like to think about, but we need to be thinking, just like in our personal lives, we have to save that emergency fund. In a business, you kind of have to think about that too.
Sure.
So then we've also got a class called Canva, which actually helps in everybody's social media marketing. And then we're doing a class we're really excited about in April called the second phase of your career. And this is for people that may be nearing retirement and thinking, you know what, I'd like to do something else. I'd like to recreate myself, if that's what you want to call it. But we've got somebody coming down from Louisville to teach those. No, we don't teach all these classes. We actually source them out to people that are highly skilled in those areas. So Kim Simons is going to be teaching tips and tricks on managing your social media campaigns. And then in April, we're going to have a class on how to get your, if you're a woman-owned business, how to get your business woman-owned certified. Then in May, we've got how to relate to millennials. We've got QuickBooks training, videoing for small business called Animoto, and then cybersecurity and how to protect your website and all of that. We've got somebody coming from Murray State. And then we've got business law, startup options if you're interested in buying a franchise. We've actually have a franchise that's interested in coming to Madisonville. So we're going to have bring people in that may be interested in working on a franchise. And then again, we'll do some financial options for small business.
Great. Well, it's a lot going on.
It is.
And a lot of classes that people can get involved in. And that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
It is.
In helping small businesses get a hand up.
Well, what we try to do is if somebody calls us and says, hey, you know, are y'all going to do anything on QuickBooks? That lets us know, hey, there is a need out there, and we will try to do a class. And almost all of our classes are free. Occasionally we are charged for a class and we pass that fee on, but most of the time, if you brown bag your lunch, we'll do it during a lunch hour if you can, or doing it during evening. But basically what we're going to do is provide every resource a small business is going to need. So if you've got a problem as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, you can't figure something out, if we don't have the answer, we are going to work with somebody that does.
That's great. That's great. When you talk about the Innovation Center and some of the things that are taking place, and we hope to have this put on the screen so people can see that schedule, there is a need, and I'm sure you check what the needs are for this area, or in general.
We do. Most of the classes and the things that we train in are things that people have come to us that are a problem. Either people that have lost their business or are in the process of losing a business, or someone that's a new business owner and they're just struggling, trying to figure some things out. And when you're a new business owner, you're taking the biggest risk that any entrepreneur can take. And it's scary, and they need help. They need help figuring out next steps and next plans. And what we want to do is try to help be that resource.
That's good. That's good. How many businesses are in the Innovation Center now?
Currently, we have 5. We have available for 20. We do have a company that will be locating here. They're actually in Nashville, and they are planning to locate here and do remote accounting. So right now they're in an interviewing process. So they could have up to 10 people, and then they will probably stay for maybe 6 months to a year and then move on out and find another location as well. So
right. And so basically you want to make sure you have a good fit, I would think.
Yes, we do. And we really, it's not a facility that, we really can't do retail. And the space is very open. It doesn't have individual offices, so if you're perhaps an attorney, that's probably not going to be a good fit because there's a certain privacy. But there's office space in several different locations in Madisonville that we can certainly help refer you to.
Being with economic development for a while, I'm sure you have seen the pros and cons of up and down the scale with businesses coming in, with some leaving, this type of thing. Where do you see us as a community of Hopkins County in that standing?
I guess, sometimes I see things, not the glass half empty, not the glass half full, but I see the glass flowing over right now. We are growing in a lot of areas. Just like, we talked about earlier, a lot of dog is opened up. You think about 6 years ago, all the businesses on Sugg Street did not exist.
Right.
So if you stop and think about it, over time, a little drop here, a little drop here, all those little things add up. And in the beginning, Jenny Gibson, her idea had 2 or 3 employees. Well, then she moved over to where she did lunch, and she added more. Then she moved over again. Then she added the cookies. That's what I call a serial entrepreneur that's continually thinking. And right now she's working on her next business that will be upstairs in one of the buildings facing Main Street.
Sure.
So there are people in Madisonville with innovative ideas that are working towards that, and I think they're doing that because they feel this is a great community to invest in.
I agree.
So I think it is growing. I think it's a slow trickle-down effect, but I do think it is growing.
We're seeing a big change in downtown Madisonville.
We really are.
And you see more people taking advantage.
Well, if you think about it, you see more people just walking around downtown.
True.
Than you really used to. I mean, of course, we have been out on at 755 Industrial Road for quite a while with economic development, and it's amazing how much more traffic we have in Madisonville. We had somebody the other day just walk in, hey, I heard this was where I needed to come. I've got a business idea. Well, that's an exciting day.
Right.
When somebody comes in and says, hey, what do you think about this? I mean, a long time ago, Google was a crazy idea. A long time ago, the internet was a crazy idea. So there's no idea that is too far-fetched. And a lot of people are hesitant to share their idea because, I don't want you to take it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, we of course have confidentiality guidelines where we can't share those things. But it is really exciting. And right now we're currently working on something at Economic Development called, it's the idea competition. It's for high school students. So we recently selected, they had to do a 3-minute video of their idea. Well, the ideas that these kids came up with, that's pretty exciting. I mean, a couple of these kids have come up with ideas that are not currently on the market. And they say the businesses that will be around 20 years from now will be created by the kids who are in school right now.
Wow.
And that's pretty exciting.
It really is.
So what we want to do is foster that spirit of entrepreneurism and help teach them to think outside the box. When we get 50, we're thinking retirement and are starting to plan, do we have enough for retirement? So sometimes it's harder for us to take that step. But as a young person,
yes,
that's the prime time. So we need to be encouraging and fostering that every day. And, to to me, I mean, I love to go to a job fair
Sure.
and say, hey, if you could do anything, what would you do? And then when they tell you, say, so what's stopping you? You know, let's work on that. I mean, I've got an idea for a business I'd like to do.
Sure.
One day I may not be doing what I'm doing. One day this fever may completely bite me, and I may, you know, try to go achieve my dream. But and that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people achieve their dream, which equates to success and growing our own community.
It really does. And there is a need to continue to reach out to people in the community and outside the community.
Right.
Because that's most important.
Right.
Yeah, to bring others in.
We have been working with a liaison at Fort Campbell. And, you know, there are several hundred Fort Campbell retirees coming out every month. So we are putting together a packet. We've been working with Trish Knoll at the tourism on a packet that could help the Fort Campbell military people that are coming out. And, you know, a military person is one of the best people to help start a business.
Yes.
Because they are detail oriented. They are they're used to a structure. So we also want to try to recruit in that way to say, okay, what would you like to create? So Fort Campbell is in our sights, and we've also got something coming online that'll come in the fall of this year. And I don't know if you've heard about this, Tim, but it's our makerspace.
Wow. Okay.
Our makerspace is going to be very similar to what we have at the Innovation Station. It's actually going to be located at 130 North Seminary, and it is the building that used to be a moving and storage building years ago. It's a white concrete block building, but it will have industrial equipment. It'll have CNC machine, woodworking equipment, welders. So maybe you do a little bit of welding in your work, but you think you could build some things on your own. This is going to be a space where people to be able to come in and pay $50 for a month, come in and book equipment. There'll be a lot of safety rules and regulations. You'll have to go through a safety course on each piece of equipment. But we hope this is going to help people that are a little more hands-on to create something and maybe either add to their income or start a new business. So right now, that building, Economic Development has purchased that building. And we've secured an engineer that's going to start. We're getting prices on our equipment. And there's some modification that needs to be made to the building as far as electricity and other things like that. But we're really, really excited what that will bring. We think that will go hand in hand with the Innovation Station. It's also going to have what we call textiles. So there will be commercial sewing machine. There'll be quilting machines. There will be embroider machines. So it won't just be for men and won't just be for women, but there'll be a variety of things. And there'll be classes taught there, whether it be learning how to make cutting boards or different things like that. So we're really excited about bringing that online and all the things that can add to the culture of entrepreneurs we're trying to create here. So
So it's a busy time.
it is. It is a busy time.
At the Innovation Station. And when you really think about it, this really ties in also with education, and it ties in with Madisonville Community College.
Yes.
The health campus. Give us an idea how that ties in.
Well, you know, we work very closely with Madisonville Community College. For instance, they are providing quite a bit of the educational tools for our small business learning series. Kim Simons is going to teach quite a few of those. Kevin Batts is the business teacher there. He is as well. We try to work hand in hand with them because they have the resources. I mean, you know, they're a great resource to us.
Yes.
And they know how to teach some of those classes that we don't. And so they're actually coming to the Innovation Station. They've actually even created an entrepreneur certificate specifically just for the Innovation Station. So we're really excited about how that will work into it as well.
Sure. So give us also like an address, where you're located, and a phone number.
Okay, we are located at 38 West Arch Street, and that is, once again, right behind City Hall, downtown Madisonville, right over the railroad tracks. And our phone number is 270-821-1939.
Okay, what you may have explained this, and maybe I didn't catch it, but what types of businesses are in the Innovation Station at this moment?
The types of businesses that are in there currently, we have a website. We have a person that does website design. We have two girls that have just opened a business called Posh Events, and they do all kind of event planning, decorating for weddings, different things like that. So they're located in there. We also have someone that has a pet sitting business, but she also does QuickBooks for several small businesses. So she does all of that there. And then we have a freelance writer. And you know, they're not all there every day. Since we are open 24/7, they pretty much can come and go whenever they want and work with that. So it seems to work out very well.
Well, if somebody is listening to the program now and this has sparked their interest.
Well, I hope so. We encourage anyone to come by. We offer free tours. We'll be glad to provide someone with a day pass if they just like to come and work out of the space one day and just see how they like it, how the vibe feels to them, and we'd be more than glad to have anyone stop by.
Well, you know, it's surprising you were talking about how it has changed since from where you were to here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is mind-blowing, being in the city now.
It is. It really is, and we have really enjoyed it. I mean, we loved our work family in the other building, but we got very few walk-ins there. Now, we did as far as manufacturing and industry, but it's on the small business side, we didn't receive as many. But now we're getting walk-ins daily. So that's pretty exciting.
What's next for Hopkins County as far as entrepreneurship?
Well, we have big dreams. You know, we used to say we wanted to be the leading in entrepreneurism in West Kentucky, and then it was Kentucky, and now I think we've decided to take over the nation. But of course, we are bringing on the maker space, which is going to be called Kentucky Movers and Makers, and we'll be bringing that on in the fall. And then there's been some interest in a kitchen incubator for people that would maybe that bake cakes, or maybe that do cheesecakes for restaurants, or maybe that want to, you know, dabble a little bit in that. That's kind of on our long-range plan. I'm not sure how far away that is, but there is some interest in that. So you may see that coming down the pike as well. Right.
So a lot of stuff going on that can really help the community.
Yes, I really think it is. It's just an exciting time. There's a lot of growth and a lot of creativity and ideas floating around right now. So.
Well, I think we're in that season where we're seeing not only on a city level but a state and national level, we're seeing people being encouraged to start their own businesses.
Yes, absolutely. They really are. I mean, the state of Kentucky offers quite a few incentives. We've actually created what we call it's a book of incentives, and it has 119 different incentives that are available for small businesses. Now, no, they don't fit every small business, but you don't know if there's one for you unless you contact us.
Right.
And we literally have 2 3-inch binders. And at first it was volume 1, then it became volume 2.
And I would think it's all across the board as far as businesses are concerned.
It is, and there are incentives for agriculture. There are incentives just about every type of the movie industry. If you want to start a movie industry in the state of Kentucky, the incentives are fantastic.
Wow.
So there are all kinds of incentives. So if you are a small business and you need incentives for training, if you want to expand your business, please call us and let us look through the book of incentives and see what we can do to try to help you achieve that and take your business to the level you want to.
What about funding? When it comes to funding, so a lot of times people are concerned with funding businesses and this type of thing. They're small business.
Now, as far as grants where the government is just handing money out, that really isn't happening. There are a few grants out there that are what we call free money. Most of that is for a product that has never been created before. You can't, if you like solar, different types of solar projects sometimes have grants. But new products similar to that in the high tech, that there are some grants for things like that. But there is, if you want to open a restaurant, or if you want to do a food truck, or if you want to open a retail store, there are no grants, free money for that. But there are all different kinds of state incentives, tax credits, and different things like that that are certainly worth time and looking at. And there's also workforce incentives. There are many training programs that if you hire someone, if you fit the guidelines of the program, for the first 6 months, you may only pay half of their salary and be reimbursed the other half. So we actually had Molly Deal from the Workforce Investment Board came last week and talked to a group of people at the Innovation Station about the incentives that they offer, so that that there's some ways that the businesses can save money as well.
And when you come in to the Innovation Center, you can explain all of this.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
There will be somebody there at all times that is familiar with everything we do and that can explain it. And if we can't find the answers you need, we will source the people we need to help.
Right. The new director there, I think he's still new.
He feels still new. I've been there 10 years, and Gerald Cook was there 8.
Right.
And Ray he'll be there 2 years in April. He is somebody that really, really thinks outside the box.
He really is, and
he's a very, very nice man, and he is invested in this community. He loves Hopkins County. He's brought some of his family here. His wife really enjoys it here, but most of all, he's just blended right in this community and wants to grow entrepreneurial development, grow our workforce in Hopkins County. So he's just really excited. He is extremely invested in this community. Right,
and I will say, of course, he and I are Kawanian brothers together, but he also serves with the chamber.
He does.
With me on the Chamber of Commerce board, and you can tell at times he has a real passion.
He does have a passion, and he thinks big, and that's great.
Because I think you need that.
Absolutely,
you need to think out of the box. You got to be able to look 10, 20 years down the road.
You're exactly right. You have to have a plan of where you want the community to be, because if not, you can't decide, hey, I'd like to open a co-working space one day. I mean, it took 3 years to get there. It'll take 1.5 years to get our makerspace online, and you have to be continually planning for the future and what you want to create in the environment you want to create.
That's right. Where you are now is not where you want to stay. You always want to build on.
That's right. We always need to be learning.
That's right. It's a learning process.
It is. It sure is.
What would you like to encourage the people of the community to do as we come to a close?
So actually, if you are a small business and there's anything at all that you need that economic development could help you with, please call us. Whether it's funding, whether it is accounting, whether you need tax questions answered. We don't have all those answers, but we do have the resources to find them. If you have an idea for a small business, but you just don't know how to lay it out and put together a business plan to go to the bank, we also will help you get bank ready to go and borrow money, and we'll help you work on that project. So if you have a dream, we want to talk to you. So just give us a call and feel free to stop by, and we'll be glad to invest some time in your business.
Great. I mean, you couldn't finish it up any better than that, and it lets us know that dreams still come true.
They do. They sure do.
I'm certainly glad that you have joined us.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to talk about our program and excited that you let us come talk today.
We're really glad to have you, and maybe Ms. Smith and myself can come over and take a tour.
We would love that.
Bring our cameras in and just kind of tour.
Absolutely, anytime.
Sometimes would love that.
Yeah, we would love that too.
Yeah, we want you to come back and keep us updated in the fall session, and we're going to put all the information that she has been talking about. We're going to put it on the screen for you to see, and if you see something that fits your category in those classes, we want you to attend those. It will definitely be worth your interest to do so. We've been talking to Ruth Ann Paget, who is the Vice President of Operations for the Madisonville Hopkins County Economic Development Corporation, and she's been talking about the Kentucky Innovation Station that is located at 38 West R Street here in Madisonville, Kentucky, that we still consider the best town on earth.
That's right.
So we encourage you to take advantage of all the exciting things that are available to you through the Innovation Station. And we want you to tune in to our next program. We're going to be talking about, in our next broadcast, we're going to be talking about the transit system. And as you know, the transit system is doing quite well here in the city of Madisonville, and so we're going to have Mr. Kenneth Johnson. He's going to be talking about, giving us some updates and giving us some numbers on how well this is transpiring. So you'll want to tune in to our next program. We hope you will do that. I am Tim Thomas, and by all means, keep sharing the dream.